Greetings, YouTube! The Doctor is in. Dr. Urias Papers here, coming at you with another commentary on Dungeons and Dragons. We've got another installment of our new spells that came out in the D&D Drops. This one is called Buzzing Bee. And we're going to talk about this. Of course, we're going to talk about some of the pros, some of the cons. We're going to talk about its grade. That is, we are going to grade it. I do like this spell quite a bit. One of the big things that I do like about it is it doesn't lose its utility as you gain levels, even though it's first level. So we're going to go over this and a whole lot more, so stay tuned and don't go anywhere. All right, before we begin, don't forget to hit that subscribe button. If you like this video, hit the like button. If you have any questions or comments, please leave a question or comment. Don't forget to hype this video. Don't forget to share this video. And don't forget to hit that notification bell. All right, Buzzing Bee is a first level spell that is usable by druids, rangers, sorcerers, and wizards. You know, that makes sense to me. Not necessarily a cleric spell, but it is definitely nature-y. So if that is a word that we can use, nature-y, and that goes along with the druid and ranger. And, you know, it does have its conjuration school, so that kind of aligns with sorcerers and wizards. Now, I do think as far as the classes go, ranger is probably the better one for this. I think you would get more utility. It is a concentration spell. That is a con for me. Is this something you're going to want to be concentrating on all the time? Maybe it is situational. So it is a first level spell. It takes one action to cast it. It has a range of 120 feet, which is great. Verbal, somatic, and material component. I wish it didn't have a verbal component, but it does. Material component is worthless, so we don't have to worry about that. It lasts for a minute. It is concentration. School of Conjuration. There is no saving throw, so that's a huge pro. No saving throw, 120 feet. Those are the two pros so far. And it lasts for a minute. That's another pro, so it lasts for essentially a combat. And it is concentration. That is a con to it. All right. So you call forth a noisy spectral bee. You target a creature that you can see within range. The bee hovers around the target. So if they're invisible, you're not going to be targeting them. So because you have to see them. The bee hovers around the target, distracting it with loud buzzing. For the duration, which is 1 minute, the target has disadvantage on wisdom perception checks. That can be very situational. That's not the best thing in the world. It's okay. If you're sneaking around and you have to cast this spell, just remember this has a verbal component, so that's a problem. So the next thing is they have disadvantage on dexterity stealth checks. That's great. That's good. This is the big one. And constitution saving throws to maintain concentration. So if the party is trying to shut off some enemy spellcaster, then you flip this on them, and you don't have to worry about any of those spells anymore, especially high-level ones that they're concentrating on, because you can flip this on them. They don't get a save. They automatically just get disadvantage to all those Constitution saving throws, and then you just start doing damage to them. Eventually, they're going to fail one, and all their spells are going to turn off. Lastly, in addition, the target cannot benefit from the invisible condition. So not only do they have disadvantage on stealth checks, they also cannot turn invisible. So you're never going to lose track of them. And if they're a spellcaster and they're trying to get away through invisibility or stealth, not getting away, and they lose they get disadvantage on concentration. So those two things, well, there's three things right there: disadvantage on stealth checks, disadvantage on constitution saving throws for concentration, and cannot turn invisible. This is a first level spell. Those three things will never lose their usefulness. Whether you're first level or you're 20th level, they will never lose their usefulness. So that makes this spell, even though it's situational, it's very useful when you need it. Okay, last sentence. The bee moves with the target, hovering within 3 feet of it as long as the target is within 120 feet of you. The bee disappears when the spell ends or if the target moves out of range. So it's got to get 120 feet away from you. Remember, that was a pro. Long range, they got to get 120 feet away before the spell shuts off. So a few things that I kind of use to gauge what kind of grade I'm going to give this spell and every spell thereafter. So, would I use this in every combat? No. Would I use it in most combats? Probably. Again, it is very situational. You know, if you're fighting a bunch of non-spellcasters that aren't really doing anything stealthy and they're not going to turn invisible, which is a lot of the time, you're not really going to use this spell. However, if you're fighting spellcasters, then you absolutely will use this spell, and you're going to be very glad that you took it. Now, is it useful in combat? Absolutely, yes. Again, that's situational, though, because it's not going to be useful in a combat where no one is spellcasting and none of the enemies are doing stealth checks. Maybe if they're trying to do perception checks, but for the most part, it's not going to be that useful. Is it going to have an impact on the overall party? Yes, that's situational. Again, it's situational because if you've got it prepared and you're going up against a bunch of enemies that just don't use spells, or they're not going to be sneaking around turning invisible, it's not going to really do anything. Again, if you have it in your back pocket and you pull it out when you need it, everybody's going to love it that you did it. So the big con on this one for me is concentration. There are a lot of spells that druids, sorcerers, and wizards would rather concentrate on. Rangers, it's Hunter's Mark, but you could probably get away with not using Hunter's Mark to do this because of the utility you're getting out of it. You wouldn't cast it unless you absolutely needed it. I would even say for sorcerers and wizards, casting the spell at the right time really is going to be useful. You're gonna really hamper that enemy spellcaster by doing this. And again, like I said, another big pro of this is it doesn't lose its utility. It doesn't lose its usefulness. It's a first level spell, so I think you get a lot of bang out of your buck for a first level spell all the way to 20th level. Okay, so what is the grade we're going to give this? We are going to give this a solid B, just because of the situationalness. If it wasn't as situational, if it didn't take concentration, I would at least move it up to a B+, if not an A-, just because I think, even though it's situational, I think that situation is going to come up quite a bit more often than you think. And like I said, you really want to have this in your back pocket to really go after enemy casters. Now, for DMs out there, this spell is awesome because every party just about is going to have a caster. So if you have a caster who casts this, and then you can just kind of sit back and watch the players kind of cringe as they fail concentration after concentration after concentration. So a big deal. So we're going to give this a B. All in all, I do like this spell. I think it's pretty good. I would be using it, and I probably will be using it. I'm playing a bard sorcerer in the current game that I'm playing, so I will probably be pulling this one out at least to have it prepared so that I can use it. All right, that is a video that I have for everybody. I appreciate everybody tuning in, and I will catch everybody later.